Okay, everyone, please join me in welcoming Most Venerable Dhammajiva Maha Thero. If you'd like, you can say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We're going to start with a mindful walking and mindful sitting. We'll start with mindful walking, 25 minutes. The time now is 6:05, so we will return here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And again, for the folks on Zoom, 25 minutes of walking. Thank you very much. Would anyone like any basic instructions for walking, or are we okay? You'll take the basic instructions. Yes, please. We'd like to invite Bhante.
So Ranga will give.
Okay, everyone. For mindful walking, we use the same principle of here, now, I am. So that means in the dimension of space, we are here, and in the dimension of time, we are now, not in the past or the future. And in the dimension of people and things, we mind our own business. And in walking meditation, you can simply walk in a pace that's comfortable for you and feel the foot touching the earth. So coming down and rising up. And for some people, it's helpful to think about the parts of the foot, the heel to the toe, etc. And Bhante is Bhante's walking now. So yeah, I think that's my basic instruction, Bhante. Are you all happy? Do you have any questions? Need further guidance? I can say also that as the mind wanders, that's very natural. I feel silly because I know the people here all know how to do walking meditation. And we only have one on Zoom currently. But as the mind wanders, just know that's perfectly natural. And you can be aware of the mind leaving and the mind coming back to the object. Try not to get tense. Don't have any worries. Just walk naturally and pay attention to your experience. When we come back, Bhante will very likely want to know about your under-the-nose experience, what you can report about your mindful walking. So with that, let's get started, and we'll come back and do some sitting at 6:30. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Shall we do mindful sitting? Okay, everyone, we'll do 25 minutes now of mindful sitting. Would anyone like any basic instructions? Or are we okay?
I am going to give basic instruction, whether you like it or not. So for the last 2 days also we did the same. And thank you very much for the cooperation so far, maintaining silence. And now we are going to, after the mindful walking, going to that kind of a consideration. Whenever we are sitting, let the body to entertain sitting. For that you have to sit very comfortably. So your body will witness the comfort. But anyway, as we are doing in a group, says you better sit comfortably and close your eyes and scan through your body as to whether right side of your body and the left side of the body is balanced. If it is not so, you may adjust. All the limbs, both the legs and hands, must be relaxed. Basically the upper part of the body, where the respiratory system, it must be erect, but don't make it rigid. And be aware, here, now, I am sitting. So far we were doing mindful walking, and while doing mindful walking, your basic attention is to the legs or to the soles. But when you come and sit, now the touching points are different. So that also can be an object of meditation. To make sure that here now I am sitting, you can feel what are the touching points. With that, if we can sit for 10-20 minutes, it's really a task. But some people, they are not happy with just being aware of sitting. For them, to make it more spiritual, can say you can be aware while sitting. Invariably, the living body is respirator. It's doing in-breath and out-breath. That also another alternative for mindfulness. So you can be aware whenever the in-breath, out-breath happens, and that you can take it as a sign as to how many in-breath and out-breaths you can continue mindfully without wandering away. Because the wandering mind is a very, very common thing. So that is a kind of a quantification of the mindfulness. Or some people instead may take in-breath, give a kind of a rising of your body, and you can feel your clothings, attire. And when the out-breath happen, releasing. Happen in the same rhythm, that also you can make use of it. Whatever it may be, your attention must be with your body. That's called Kaya Anupassana and contemplation on the body. So we are now going to practice as a team. We'll go till 7 o'clock. Thank you very much for the attention.
You guys aren't taking advantage. I talked Bante's head off the last few days, but so Bante infected me. Normally he infects me anyway, but he gave me a hembrisava. And yesterday,
It's a sharing kind of.
so Bante was talking about how walking on rocks is good for the body. So I went outside and I was walking on the red rocks here, and I'll just say that massage on my feet made me feel the best that I've felt since I got the hembrisava. That's all.
For the hembrisava, you have to, the particular points are related to the lungs and the phlegm. So usually it is in the reflexology, left hand, the small finger, and that line is talking about the heart and the lungs. And so whether you have hembrisava, whether you have the cold or not, but it's good to give a kind of a exercise to this thing. Or otherwise we say in the botanical or in the scientific way, we are usually using only 20 to about 20% of our small capacity of our the lungs. Specifically the right hand of the lungs, it has 3 layers. Only upper part is the one we are using. When we are in exercise or so sort of thing, sometimes we are using 2 lobes. But in the very hard running and climbing trees and the swimming and horse riding, only we are using the bottom part. So knowing that, we have to once in a way give this breathing exercise also related to, accordingly our purification of the blood will be different. If you attempt very slightly on only the upper part, very little oxygen. In the sitting it is opposite. Walking it need little oxygen more, but in sitting the necessity of the oxygen is less, so that your breathing also at the beginning long, and then slowly it can be shorter. The contribution of the lungs also different. So different posture have different kind of exercising of the lungs. But in bodybuilding and exercises, you can try, is highly related with your health and the blood circulation, and that blood circulation is basically related with the supply of the blood to the brain. So if you are doing in the very low ebb meditation, breathing, the contribution of the oxygen to the brain will be very less. So we have to, if you are concerned about your exercises, this is related. So the cold also a part and partial, and therefore you have to have lung exercises, climbing trees and that kind of thing, give a little bit of exercises. So the people, those who are living on the mountains, climbing up and down daily, they are usually healthy rather than people living on the flat grounds. That is already observed in the human behavior. So it is little related to the call, but anyway, something general understanding about the health.
Thank you, Bhante. Would anyone else like to share their experience?
So when I'm meditating during this time, I was counting my in-breath and out-breath, but every time my mind wandered, it always went to work, like work problems or things like that. So how do you stop your mind from going there?
I mean that you have no rights to ask this question. I mean, it says that the starting point of the Western psychology started with René Descartes. He says, ergo cogito sum. I think, therefore I am. If you are not thinking, you are dead. So therefore, mind is always thinking. That's a bare minimum. Then he told, thinking about the mind and kind of thing, give it to the church. Thinking about the body, give it to the scientist. That's how the scientist got the leap. But about 30 years, 40 years ago, they found whatever the body building and the cleanliness and the kind of thing, the contribution of the mind, they can't do away with. They then coined the term mind science. And there they found the wandering mind, even if you become enlightened, it can happen. And do you have any rights? Do you have any fair request from the mind to stop it or increase? If you are thinking so, you may try. But in general, you don't have. Mind is always wandering. That's a sign of living. So it doesn't matter whether your mind is wandering or not. It makes no any defilements. It won't give the upgrade or downgrade of your mind. But anyone who is starting with the mindfulness is first and foremost stumble upon this question. How can I keep the mind stable? Not a single person on the earth achieved it. So we all are in this battalion, finding the ways and means. So that means you have to govern, you have to have the mastery of the controlling power. That is how our egotism is happening. Let the mind to send kites, no problem. But still you can be a human being, still you can be a civilized person, still you can develop the different skills, no harm. So therefore, people, usually those who have not done any meditation, they think meditation means controlling the mind. It's a wrong idea. Instead, that understanding the mind, how is the behavior of the mind, that may be more insightful. And it will be more the under the nose your experience. So therefore you have to understand, for example, we'll say you are in a full-time retreat, and if it is so, sometimes you may see morning hours are less destructive and the evening hours are more wandering. Or sitting meditation is less destructive and the walking is not so. Just likewise, you can see your traits time-wise and the different posture-wise. And that also not true. You have to observe long time, then only you can make some trends, how it works. So that is called self-exploration. And that your results are not applicable to me. But in the discussion we can share each other, and we are specific. The different people have different that kind of traits. So for the last 50 years or so, in the meditation, that became a very popular subject. Basically, they thought mind is in the head. So they started neuroscientists to see the behavior. They say the Second World War gave so much of experiences. Some people came with head damages, and that part of the head is related to the eye and seeing. And there were some other parts may be related to the hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. They started to map. When they found the audio gyrus, visual gyrus, and that kind of thing, and they tried to find there's a small person inside the brain. If that person is damaged, that particular organ is damaged. And that when they are, ultimately they found there's no only one place. There are different places. They found 14 places are related to the seeing itself. If one is damaged, they are making de-roots and other thing can happen. So everything happened mercilessly. People got damaged in the Second World War. So therefore now they find even the area is damaged. Your eye is not damaged, but that particular visual gyrus is damaged. So they after a while they can do kind of a connectivity, and seeing can happen. So doctors got really upset. How it happens? But it took long time to understand the brain means not the mind. So therefore, the wandering mind and that kind of thing is kind of a massaging system or healthy system in the brain. Do that kind of thing, and somehow that to maintain your personality or daily routine, and still finding the new neurobics, new connections in between the synapses, and therefore ever it is growing. So very difficult to conclude this is the standard brain, this must be this thing and that thing. Not only the brain, or even in the brain, even in the mind. So present day, I think is the best time. So much of researchers, specifically in America and in UK, Australia, they are doing so much of research because the mindfulness came into being. When you are mindful, how the behavior? When you are addicted with the drugs, what's the behavior? If you are having a terminal cancer, what's the behavior? And if you are an abused child, what's the behavior? So like they are collecting so much of information. And they are giving a kind of a map to the neuroscientists. And they understand they are not even at the childhood, because it's a vast area, they just started. But Whether that understanding is leading to your liberation or not, it's a complete different issue. It's a neuroscience and understanding, this can happen. But how can we make you sit for your reduction of the tension and frustration and your self-love and to liberation, they are getting the byproducts, they are getting some of side effects and continue. So no one can help you. You have to meditate and understand who am I. You know, India, the Ramana Maharishi, and he wrote 3 books. Basically, it says Sumairi, just being. And then try to understand who am I. Even if you explore to the whole life, you don't know who you are. Because the mind is making so much of different, nervous systems are making so much of connections. So we are always not the same. In-breath person is not the out-breath person. Changes are happening. But still scientists are not giving up. They are keep on practicing. So the wandering mind is it's a clear sign that you are living. So if you wish to stop wandering mind, commit suicide. Definitely it is good. And that's why people are addicted to drugs and that different psychedelic things and kind of thing. But they are with the help of outside chemicals or pharmaceutical intervention, but close your eyes, physical, verbal and mental thing, not make you sit, let the mind to be idle, let the body to be idle and the verbal thing idle, and then observe. That's a kind of a very, very specific kind of observation to understand here, now I am, who am I? So therefore you have to observe yourself as an outsider, as if you are in a CCTV camera, you behave and the camera is observing it. And then if you can do action replay and slow motion, you will see some of the things you have not done, but it has already happened. Something you have done, it is not the way that you wanted to happen. So likewise, if you are in the front of a mirror or in front of a short circuit camera, so that is exactly what happened in mindfulness. But you must not reject this is good, this is bad. So keep on practicing, keep on observing, and whatever the decision you are arriving at, it's partial, bias. You have a special preference for yourself. If the same mistake someone is doing, your judgment is different. But if the same thing happen within you, different. So therefore, in the discussion, we can share each other. So basic instruction, yesterday we discussed fairly about that. You must try to cope up with the wandering mind. Don't consider it as a negative thing. Or rather, the mindful mind is good. And if you are aware of the wandering mind, it is better. So be prepared to have wandering mind, daydreaming, fantasizing, and we can't do it in a fair ground because we free judgmental that wandering mind is bad. Then we are always biased. So in the religious life, as well as in the samatha bhavana, this is an accepted fact. But in vipassana, keep that open. You are not going to be prejudgmental. You let the mind to send kites and just observe. Just like if you have a puppy, let the play in the beach. Just observe. Don't say do this and do that. That is not the way of relaxation. So I give the ground to play and do that. That is the only thing human beings are not doing. They are learning chemistry, physics, biology, this and that. They never give a fair chance for the mind to play hell and just observe like a naughty boy taken care by a mother. That I'm such a naughty boy. But mother is very love. She love me. Well, that's the way. She don't like girls. They're very obedient and systematic and all the kind of thing. But I am such a person. Giving trouble. She's find fault with me, but she love that is the boisterous boy. So you have to love your mind. You have to let it loose and be how do you call, observant about your wandering mind, but don't try to discipline. More you are going to discipline, more it becomes naughty. Go get issues. So you find wandering in more in sitting or walking. Your wandering is more in sitting or walking. Sitting. You see that in the walking, eyes are open, activities happen, but still wandering is less. But normally people will say your closed eyes are not moving and waiting, the mind must be very calm. But that may not be. But there are some people, for them the sitting is more calm and the walking is this thing. But anyway, that is completely independent, individual to individual, and you have to observe how to make use this information rather than rejecting some part of the information.
Would anyone else like to contribute?
But sometimes when I'm sitting and trying to just calm down and observe what's going on, it's I wouldn't call it wandering, but what happens is there begins to be like a chatter in the mind, and I can sense it. It doesn't make sense. Just unrelated speech keeps going. I can also. It's almost as if just before falling asleep, I have noticed. But I'm not asleep. I'm sitting here, and it's like a mad person chattering away.
That's called inner chatter.
Inner chatter.
So that even after the enlightenment, it happened to the Buddha. So that you have to understand the profundity. One day in a sutta, the Buddha says he was isolated in the mountain and he was just meditating. And while he was meditating, he used to think, you see, these poor people are just earning something, and even king is going to take tax that particular person. For him, it is not enough to have the dinner. But after taxing, what the king is doing? He is using for all the kind of thing. And what will happen if the kings are giving some kind of a relief for the poor people? Immediately the second person came and asked, that is what I told you not to renounce. Even now, if you go back to your regime, we can have this thing. I also can come to the cabinet, we can run. And then immediately Buddha found what is happening. And then he told Ananda, this happened to me. That is the way the Mara is coming. And when after the enlightenment, imagine, no shame. So this inner chatter, in the canonical explanation, it says vitakka vichara. Vitakka vichara means two thoughts. Of course, commentaries, they say there are 52 thoughts in the mind. Mind is one thing, thoughts are different. Mind is the sea, thoughts are the wave. And basic two we are going to take is vitakka vichara. So vitakka vichara means explain, very well explained, that can be for the good as well as for the bad. It's called Samma Sankappa, Miccha Sankappa. Vitakka means our mind is having the power to advert into one thing. There are a lot of objects, lot of people. So I can ask my mind to go to that particular person or to that bottle. So that way of adverting of the mind, manasikara. So that is a kind of a evolutionary achievement in the human mind. But even the cats they have, if they find a rat, they are definitely there. They don't mind anything. So, but a human being also have it's called the adverting of the mind or applying thoughts. Vichara means, once it is reached, it is understanding this is not that, this is not that, this is. That it's intrinsic qualities, it's personal characteristics, and analyze it. So that to happen beforehand, you have to isolate that particular item from the others. The isolation happens in the vitakka, and the vichara is going to taste it, see the qualities. So, Mahasi Sayadaw, he specialized it. He says, if you are repetitively wish to be with your in-breath and out-breath, the naming, labeling is the vitakka. When the breath happens, you have to say this is in-breath. If the out-breath happens, you have to say out-breath. In-breath, out-breath, so that the mind will be adverted into. And when and where you become familiarized with the in-breath and out-breath, mind going to comprehend in-breath is not the out-breath. Out-breath is not the in-breath. They are intrinsically two things. In-breath is gushing inside air. Out-breath is gushing outside. That's the vichara. So when you are sharp enough to isolate the in-breath and out-breath, your complete inner chatter stops. Because now it is employed. It's directed into that. So this naming object, there's one book in our library, Calm and Insight Meditations, written by Saul Elleris. He says that is the point, that is why meditation went into the West. Because Mahasi Sayadaw introduced how to isolate one object and to study it and to make use this vitakka vichara. If it is not so, the inner chatter happens. Mind has no way. It's always going to the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and absorb and dealing with and or work with, giving the highest defilements, most attractive. So therefore, definitely you are destined to hell. I am sorry. So those who have no map making, there's no accounting, there's no making any, bookkeeping, they don't know, because mind is always searching to indulgence. So therefore, when we are focusing something, it's a kind of a restraint, but in the instant mind it says, no, go there, here and there. And you think it is your liberation, and you think it is your human rights to let the mind to send kites. It's always indulgence. So one related discourse is there one day. Venerable Ananda, Ananda Maha Thero, met up with Venerable Anuruddha. Anuruddha is very, very advanced person, and Buddha also has given, highly recommended. Then he says, Bante, different people practice my four foundation of mindfulness, Satipatthana, in a different way. I would like to know, how do you practice? What is your specific way? He says, when I am meditating and I am looking at forward, I feel enough. I have to do something else. So very quickly mind becomes fed up with. And then mind says, look the left side or look the right side. Because that whenever you focus to something, that is not the nature. That's a trick the Buddha used. But then it wish to see the left side, then I know, because this looking directly, this is less defiled, and the left side is, I am going to get the more defilements. So therefore, either I keep it here, or I know this side is more defilements. So with that knowledge, if I look at that, even though it is defilement there, less inflicting. Because I go prepared. Understand? Do you? Repeat, will you?
So when your mind tells you to look away, you know that it's telling you to look away. If you can sense it before looking, I think
That is a very important point. It is not an accident. In Vipassana, no accidents. Everything has its own ways and means. The whole human evolution is that. So if you believe whatever our ancestors did, it is in our RNA, DNA, in the chromosomes. So everything is happening according to that plan. I feel that why I am looking here is something accident, nothing. One thing point you cleared, some more.
if you know that it's telling you to do it and you do it, then I think you're prepared, because you know that the mind is trying to do it. Right?
So with that context, how do you appreciate advertisements? Mad word. It is adverting the mind. That's called advertisements. That's American business. So therefore, everything is provoked. So therefore, younger generation, no hope. So much of things are there, displayed, and the advertisement people are promoting it. No one needs to tell you advertisements to give you more defilements, more excitements, more dramatic, more eventful. So, they are young blood. So how can we say be mindful and come to the mindful school? I think is my interpretation, Buddha never taught mindfulness to children. So I am the crazy person going to the mindful school, and I am asking this question again and again. It's impossible, because elderly people set very, very bad examples in front of children. Not only the big multinational companies, they are always provoking. But the elderly people, if they can understand it and don't control it, but to reduce it at least the target shooting, or shoot it at the one same object, same target, again and again, that's also skill. There vitakka is being specialized. The applying thoughts. So there are some skills are there. The archery, target shooting, or that kind of thing. But otherwise, our mind it's a reptilian mind. Always finding more defiled people, more defiled thing. And you will get frills and thrills, and you get same kind of people as the friends. So they may have different clubs. So we don't find any mistake there. So imagine when you go to the forest under a tree, or sitting in an isolated place with no much of provocations. When you go to inside the forest, it is mind get completely confused. You lose the east and the west. You lose the direction where the village is. So everywhere is the same. That's called disamaru. So that's a point where the mind has nothing to look. As the seeing us, because this is all the same, this is all the same, this is all the same. So that's why people are not happy to go to forest. Ramaniyani aranyakani nate kama gaveshino. The forests are very beautiful, but the self-indulgence people, they don't like forest. So these points are very profound. The macroclimate is very profound. But you want Dhammajiva have to come to America and make a soundproof hall, and everyone come, and why not? Ultimately ask him, but the mind is sending kites, what to do? So I am telling, see this color, see this bald head. So therefore, knowing what we are created here is for the complete misleading the mind. But even then we are gathering here something like that and taking little time. That's a miracle. That was not common for our parents' era. Now we are in such a place. So because that the world, the global warming and the pollution is unbearably high. Unbearably high. Our generation is responsible. If you go to the YouTube and type, she stopped the world for 5 minutes, one girl is talking for 5 minutes, in the මේ වැඩ කරනවා ඇත්තට වැඩ කරනවා. She stopped the world for 5 minutes. YouTube, I don't know whether it is removed. She's talking to the elderly people. She's below 14 years. I don't know the name. That may be. She's giving talk in the UN. Colored. It was colored.
Much different. Vanessa Seti, Morgan Geisler, Michelle Quigg, and me. We've raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults you must change your ways. Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard. I am here to speak for the countless animals dying across this planet because they have nowhere left to go. I am afraid to go out in the sun now because of the holes in our ozone. I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I used to go fishing in Vancouver, my home, with my dad, until just a few years ago we found the fish full of cancers. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct, every day vanishing forever. In my life, I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests, full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. Did you have to worry of these things when you were my age? All this is happening before our eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. I'm only a child, and I don't have all the solutions. But I want you to realize, neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up in a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. Here, you may be delegates of your government, business people, organizers, reporters, or politicians, but really, your mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, and all of you are someone's child. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all part of a family, 5 billion strong. In fact, 30 million species strong. and borders and governments will never change that. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all in this together and should act as one single world towards one single goal. In my anger, I am not blind, and in my fear, I am not afraid of telling the world how I feel. In my country, we make so much waste. We buy and throw away, buy and throw away, buy and throw away, and yet northern countries will not share with the needy. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go of some of our wealth. In Canada, we live the privileged life with plenty of food, water, and shelter. We have watches, bicycles, computers, and television sets. The list could go on for 2 days. 2 days ago here in Brazil, we were shocked when we spent time with some children living on the streets. This is what one child told us. I wish I was rich. And if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicines, shelter, and love and affection. If a child on the streets who has nothing is willing to share, why are we who have everything still so greedy? I can't stop thinking that these are children my own age, that it makes a tremendous difference where you are born. That I could be one of those children living in the favelas of Rio. I could be a child starving in Somalia, or a victim of war in the Middle East, or a beggar in India. I am only a child, yet I know if all the money spent on war was spent on finding environmental answers, ending poverty, and finding treaties, what a wonderful place this earth would be. At school, even in kindergarten, you teach us how to behave in the world. You teach us to not fight with others, to work things out, to respect others, to clean up our mess, not to hurt other creatures, to share, not be greedy. Then why do you go out and do the things you tell us not to do? Do not forget why you are attending these conferences, who you're doing this for. We are your own children. You are deciding what kind of a world we are growing up in. Parents should be able to comfort their children by saying, everything's going to be all right. It's not the end of the world, and we're doing the best we can. But I don't think you can say that to us anymore. Are we even on your list of priorities? My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say. Well, what you do makes me cry at night. You grown-ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please, make your actions reflect your words. Thank you.
It's worked now 20 years. And she may be a very elderly person. So that's why no use of asking young children to be mindful. Parents must be. Teachers must be. Priests must be. Then have kind of a restraint. Rather than loving individual child and all the kind of thing, my family, my group, my clan, the children. So I wish to send this message through mindfulness. Because mindfulness is completely covering it. Even your inner discursive thoughts or your inner chatter also being some kind of a restraint. It is not the moral restraint. It is not the concentration restraint. It's a wisdom restraint. So therefore, you have to practice a lot. Then only you can have kind of a mastery about the thoughts, what is happening, how it is going, jumping out, and what are the early signs of the indications of the wandering mind. And before talking, what is the impact of talking? Doing, what are the impact? Because that our individual DNA, RNA carries all the information. Nothing new, nothing accident. If you do not know the accounts keeping or the bookkeeping, you will say, what to do? My mind is such. Yes, at the beginning, yes. But more and more you go there, single person can change the whole world. One particular person, I will put it in this way. One thought moment of mindfulness can make an impact to the global warming. One thought moment of mindfulness can reduce the how you call defilements, internal and external. So therefore your thought moment of mindfulness, one breath, one footstep, don't consider as a small thing. Because you have already started. Lucky. So therefore the video made me a very, very sensitive. And she's talking very angrily. So the present generation is utterly responsible. Because our parents and grandparents are very conservative. They are very simple. But you people are destroyers. You people are mercenaries. Using like anything. I am also getting benefited, no harm. But I have to tell, mindfulness is anyway bringing it to it's a kind of an equilibrium, but not in a hateful way, not in a destructive way. You have to set example, and then main thing is not to worry. And the Buddha says, Sabba Papa Sakarana, not doing bad things. The utter Sri Lankan Buddhists are utter fools. They are worried about doing good things. They are inhuman. They are animals. Main thing is not to do bad things. That's why the Hippocrates told to the doctors, first do no harm. First do no harm. That's the first vow. But today we see. So whenever we are mindful and mind attended to that particular object, maybe wandering mind, and that particular thought moment, Buddha found its a profundity so much of thousands of years ago. But complete Sinhalese Buddhism lost that. Not a single person. And it is happy when I am starting mindfulness, myself I feel like a Buddha. As if it is never was in the world, and you are, actually, no, I am doing just a copy. When Jnanaponika is the person did it, Maha Sishyado, Jnanarama, Thero, and they are doing, I am just catalyzing and I am carrying forward, nothing original from me. But each and everyone practicing mindfulness, I call they are ambassadors. They are the universal leaders, or we call them master trainers. Am I too much? So that's why many people are not coming to listen this kind of thing. They want to have something phrasing, telling you are a good girl, you are a good boy, and blah, blah, you have this degree and that degree. Bullshit. They don't know how to stop. The Herman Hesse and Siddhartha, now he says that Prince Siddhartha says, yes, I am in a robust state, I can stop. That's his power. We have capacity to do anything, but I have the clutch and the brakes. So that is what the greatness of the human being. So therefore, third world countries are better off when compared with, so you bloody fool call it's a first world country, and so how do you call the new world? Laughing stock. Laughing stock. So its change started when the term coining, how to call, mind science. And that in the quantum physics, Schrodinger First time he found it and he hid the principle for 117 years not to tell others. He told that Schrodinger energy wave will collapse into matter only when your consciousness interacted. Otherwise it is an energy. Once you see, it will be a matter. So therefore, whatever the matter you see, it's your mind made. Mano pubbangama dhamma, mano setta, manomaya. So in Sinhalese interpretation, manomaya, they don't give the proper interpretation. But you see that you are. Wherever you go, there you are. So in the mindfulness, it appears like it is your own image. Like a CCTV camera, you try to get the 3D photos of mental, verbal, physical. Many people can't cope up with. They are mentally or psychologically not balanced. So it may not only the meditation, but you have such a balanced mind to cope up with the experience. Nowadays, people are committing suicide like anything. They kill, serial killing, anything. They don't care because they can't bear it up with this experience. But when you are developing children with the mindfulness, they be prepared for anything. They can cope up with. And the simple answer is being prepared. So therefore, earlier the better. කෝපිටියක් හදන එක මේ හදලත් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වයි ගිය අවුරුද්දේ හදපුවා. ඈ? Yes. මං කිව්වා දාලා තියන්න කියලා. මොකද මේ ෆ්ලාස්ක් එකවත් බලන්න තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ අච්චර සීතල රටේ. You are a bloody poor fellows. If you come to my monastery, I can give 10 flasks for 10 fingers. So much of flask and mugs and all the kind of thing. So anyway, that what I'm talking is a very broader spectrum rather than our under the nose experience. But to bring it to the more lively, you have to take it to the under the nose experience. And we are in a great exploration. Great exploration. We have to catalyze the whole world. Not for the enlightenment, I am telling. To understand who am I. They are forgotten.
So there's a Zoom question.
Zoom question, yes.
Yeah, and just that this time around, the participants can't ask the questions on Zoom because of the way we wired. So I had asked a question.
What I don't understand, I can't understand what you are given the second. What is the Zoom question?
Okay. So the question is, dear Venerable Bhante, could you please explain the relationship between the mindfulness practice and how it influences the underlying tendencies or anusaya?
Yeah, mindfulness never touch underlying tendencies. Mindfulness is basically touching at the beginning the moral restraint. I mean that your moral responsibilities, that to say that ethical aspects. So therefore it is called transgressional kind of defilement, not to kill, not to steal, not to have a sexual misconduct in physically, and verbally lying, slandering, tail carrying and harsh words. So I would say, I would assure, whenever you are mindful, you are not killing, you are not stealing, you are not in a sexual misconduct. Not lying, not harsh words, not tail carrying, no other kind of things. So therefore your moral restraint is 100% assured. Each and every thought moment you are mindful. It's a very difficult thing for people to in the human world. Our parents died even without knowing that. And then whenever the adverting of the mind is happening, I mean to the particular object, it's a advanced step in the mindfulness. Visyabhimukha bhava pachupattana. You are face to face with particular object. At that moment, the beyond the moral distinct, your mind is insured from the obsessional defilements. Or we can say concentration restraint. Even one thought moment, you know your object. One step, one breath, that kind of thing. But yesterday we discussed in detail. And if you can maintain it for 2-3 breaths, or to the 2-3 steps, left and the right, or when you are brushing your teeth, if you come to keep the track with, at that area, at that range, no obsessional kind of defilements also. So anyone considers it as a great achievement, but momentarily we already achieved it. We don't know. When you are meditating, we expect to become enlightened. We expect to become the how do you call, the Dibba Chakku, Dibba Thota, that means clairvoyance and all the kinds. No, it is not the way. Your second kind of defilements also stopped. Now the question is, next stage, that is the underlying tendencies. Underlying tendencies indicate the way your mind is wandering. Wandering mind is a cross-section of your underlying tendencies. Who am I? If you hate it, you will never develop the mindfulness into that area, and mindfulness itself can't go. Mindfulness has to go with clear comprehension. So that training is letting your defilements to arouse, letting your weaknesses to arouse in the operation theatre, not at the forest. So then you can understand we are usually hating our mistakes. We are hating our wandering minds. We are hating our distractions. So therefore we are not prepared to understand underlying tendencies, or we call sometimes directed dispositions. That is what you call anusaya, asava. So if you are ready to accept yourself as a one unit, don't have liking and disliking. What you dislike indicate your tendencies, underlying tendencies. So your friends can see it. They know it. But there's no use. You have to see under your very nose. That tool is mindfulness together with clear comprehension. So therefore, when I started in 80s and 90s, there were no that kind of interpretation even. How the mindfulness is advancing and wait, keep it. Advancing now, it is happening. This is exactly the core meaning of Vipassana. This is called wisdom training. Wisdom training means accepting your mistakes, accepting you as it is, not the way the society is going to tell you are a good boy, you're a bad boy, this and that. All these are just scripts. But you have to understand why my mind is wandering. Why sometimes I am happy with the sitting than more walking. Why I am not mindful in the other day-to-day activities. So I mean, it's a deep message. Not at the beginning, but when you're at the deep level, you see, you will be amazed to see there are some people on our society, they are concerned about that. That is a great achievement. Unless otherwise you come up to that level, you think every people is hiding their mistakes. They are considering it as a private and confidential. No, the real noble friends, real true people, they are also explaining it and let you also to explain. That is called catharsis. This is called counseling. This is what happened in the psychoanalysis, but it is not aimed at the spiritual kind of thing. Western psychology. But what I'm talking is more advanced way of healing through the moral restraint, concentration restraint. Now we are talking about wisdom restraint. That's a brief.
from there, can you please explain with the...
Now, is it a Zoom question or the mic question?
No, that's a mic question.
Mike question.
Mike Tyson question.
You see there how much they are taking the mean advantage.
well, the question on Zoom influenced my thinking, so I'm asking the question for the benefit of everybody. So with the clear comprehension, when you see that, and then so from there to alter your traits, how would that journey be?
Can you repeat again?
So with mindfulness and clear comprehension, you see what you are, how your mind works. So that's seeing. And then from there to change your understanding or change your traits, your innate habits and traits. How do you go from there?
Choiceless awareness. You have to be aware about your abilities and disabilities, goodness and badness without a choice. Non-judgmental. Then you are observing yourself. You are exposing yourself. No one is doing on the earth. They have scripts. Their parents put their scripts into their mind. This is good, this is bad, this is ought, this is not to do. So they are bad people. They are the judges. They are the lawyers. They are the government leaders. Mad world. But they are looking from their blinkers, their colored glasses. So you can't find fault with them. Because we are also brought up in the same way by the parents. I mean, they have done with compassion, but foolish compassion. No wisdom. So you have to come up and see, before judging, let the thing happen in the choiceless way. Human can do it. So we in Nilambe, this is the starting point of mindfulness. We define mindfulness as choiceless awareness, or evenly suspended attention, or suspended decision. Buddha explained in the Apannaka Sutta, when Jnanaponika put into the power of mindfulness, non-coercive reaction, non-coerciveness. Otherwise, before happening, I have judgment, is good, is bad, and all the kind of things. So whatever the bad person, whatever the good thing happen, go to the dustbin. The whole world I am talking. But the choiceless awareness give a new life. You become rejuvenated. Same thing can happen. You can see it from the fresh way. And that is that's a very endowment in children. Children, they don't have preconceived ideas. Only the parents are putting. So therefore, I would say parents are child abusive. Parents are the best abusers of children. Never mind. But you also be parents in the time to happen. I don't know. So whenever it happens, you are interfering into the other psychology. It's a crime. In mindfulness, it says don't interfere someone's psychology. Just have a share it. We all are the same. We have a choiceless awareness. And it's coined by Ken Wilber. But when I was in Italy, I had a group of psychiatrists. They told it is by Krishnamurti. But whatever it may be, in the Nilambe, everyone knows what's the meaning of choiceless awareness. Because our every seeing, hearing, smelling, taste, everything is backed by a choice. That's why the advertisement people, they know. That's how they tap us, tap our purse. But the Buddha gave us accept whatever giving, though you don't have money to go and buy something. So therefore monks destined to have choiceless awareness, whether you like it or not.
I'm sorry, Bhante, and I would say you are doing some other kind of advertising too, because you've been
advertising at least mindfulness.
And it is really disruptive.
Yes, I'm very happy. I am not a constructive person on the word. The Buddha says, write it, otherwise you will forget about it. It says, Loka Vaddako. Lokavaddako means people, those who are creative and productive in the worldly matters. I mean, materialistic. Lokavaddako, Susana Vaddako.
What is the latter?
You are you can't understand. Lokavaddako, Susana Vaddako. Whatever your creativity, whatever your productivity is making more symmetries. This is what happened in the science. This is what happened in the technology. This is what happened in the infrastructure development. So much it is developing, but people are committing suicide. People are killing each other. People are fighting each other, knowing everything. Because Lokavaddaka, I raise my hand. I also do the same thing. But I know that is not the way. Got the point? No. Lokavaddako, Susanavaddako.
What is the translation for Susana Vaddako?
You are increasing the number of symmetries, carnal grounds.
What do you mean by symmetries, Bhante?
No, the more population means more population.
Cemeteries. I missed.
So now we have 7 billion population.
I think 8 point something.
8, yeah. So you see how much deaths, and this is population burst, is coincide with the coincidence with the scientific development. Earlier people were in the struggling and they don't have much of means, so the health, the life expectancy, health and kind of thing. Now it is high, so much of hospitals, so much of the mental asylums, increasing. Only 2 people, I think, fighting for that. I'm sorry, I am not going to name the person then, because
why not?
It is unhealthy for my health. Bill Gates. And the other person was, there are few people, they are trying their best to reduce the population. They expected 1 billion at least in the corona. It was not a success. And they are trying their best with the chemical weapons to reduce the population. Chikungunya, anthrax, corona, all lab leaks. So you may say it is a conspiracy theory, but the corona case is written in National Geography. Corona 19, they say, is because it was written in, it happened in 20s, but first discovered is 2019. And National Geography magazine had the full article. And then only it burst. And chikungunya, anthrax, and so much of things, they have prepared for the Second World War. Now only coming. You think medical science is very advancing? No. Mercenaries are more advancing. All are pre-planned things. So mind your own business, go to forest and be prepared.
So I answer further question about choiceless awareness. Further question about choiceless awareness.
Choiceless awareness.
Yeah. So even when we associate a Kalyana Mitra like we do with you, we listen to you and we listen to your sermons, and we can do that kind of choicelessly. Be kind of like, neither like nor dislike, right? So we listen, but then you can't help but be influenced by it at times. I think that's the whole point of associating it.
Choiceless awareness is not an overnight job. It's an evolving thing. You are now with the full of choice. You are not disqualified. To understand how much you are judgmental. Anything you are doing with the preconceived ideas. So if your friends, as your mindfulness, as your teacher is telling that, you feel like hurt. So you must be very generous and you must be very humble. It's a real image, like a mirror image. Today people, they are not prepared. They are very unhappy because they consider as private and confidential. They don't like sharing. They don't like declaration. They don't like opening. So they are psychiatric cases. So mindfulness and the meditation also not for everyone. Many people go mad.
I'm in the process.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's a further question on Zoom.
Yeah.
To the same, in the same line of questioning, I think. Dear Venerable Bhante, ironically, children are also carrying underlying tendencies. While a child's mind is often seen as a blank slate, the tendencies act as the underlying software that hasn't been booted up yet. Am I correct?
Yeah, that I can't remember his name. He was the principal once in the Nissarana, Colombo. Atukora, no, Atukora became a good friend of mine. And he started the private school also. So he's so interested in mindfulness. So one day he gave that mindful to the grade 5 children. And they thought that they don't have tension. But while practicing, that children used to say, when I'm sitting, no tension. But the principal told, usually at the grade 5, they don't have tension. So he wrote to me, Bhante, you see, even the grade 5 children, they have tension. And ultimately, he gave the same exercise for the 5-year-old child. I'm very difficult to communicate with the mindfulness. And they also says, if I sit, tension disappeared. It was a big question for that. I can't remember the person. Still, he's connected with me in Melbourne. Then he says, how come, Bhante, that there's such infants, they also have tension, and mindfulness is giving kind of a lack of tension. Then I told, they don't have tension, but you become a principle that no tension is also a point for tension for you. You are always find fault with me. I am asking you to share with me. Then we both went into exploration. This is when the mother get the first child. And as far as that child is taken care by the mother, the child comes to know that the whole mother is for me. Mother's full love is with me. And at the second year or third year, if she is going to have a second child, still the envious situation happen. That means kind of a tension is there. That means they bring, carry forward kind of thing with the birth. And it's increasing. So when you go older, the tension and frustration multiplying by exponentials growth. Therefore it says mindfulness, it says you have to be a beginner's mind. Understand it. It is not your personal mistake. Please carefully listen. It is not a personal mistake. It's a mistake of human being. Whenever you become a human being, you have to carry that load. But still, mindfulness is regressing, going backward, and says, yeah, you are born with the tension, but choiceless awareness is a challenge. Keep on practice. While practicing, you get so much of neutral mental states. Some people already experienced, and then he or she has to understand if it is possible, how should I change my lifestyle from today up till the death to have more choiceless awareness. That is the evolution of the human being. Once you get, you are lucky enough. It never come by naturally. You have to plan it. That is called the Dhammajiva, to your livelihood. Plan it in such a way to have more and more choiceless awareness, or evenly suspended attention, or suspended decision, or not to react. It appears like a defeat from the worldly point of view. So mindfulness is giving a little bit of a hiatus. You have a hope. You are gathering me, or you are absent-minded.
I'm wrestling with what you're saying, Bante, because I'm feeling that disorganized disarray, that fear that comes with knowing I know what you're doing to me.
Yes,
And I know
I
you're
will do in future also. Sure.
So I have that fear because I can yes, mindfulness has no tension, but along the way I know I have to be destroyed. So I have that fear, and I know your trick now. So
No, in Kaduela, whenever I go weekend, sometimes I go there for recordings. They always ask me to take a question and answer session from 12:30 to 1:30. About 200, 300 people. Kaduela is normal people. So whenever such a thing happens, we have 4 words. If the vipassana is growing, if the mindfulness is advancing, you see lot of, in Sinhala, I will use it, apilivala. And apilivala, and when it is like it's like everything goes to jumble. You can't explain it. And you get discouraged. All the 4 characteristics appear like a negative in the normal way of life. Educated people never accept apilivala. I mean, not in the linear system. Linear system, one after the other. Pilivala, and sequential order, utterly goes. So, Manori Senanayaka, the first child psychiatrist in Colombo, she says, this is almost like autistic early signs. Whenever my meditation increases, at a stage, you develop autism, early signs. Autism range, early signs, everything go disarray. Apilivala, unexpected thing, and you can't explain it. And you get discouraged. And Upandita Sayadaw used to say, if such a thing happen, if that yogi can't comprehend it, it is not the mistake of the yogi, it is the mistake of the teacher. Teacher must understand her meditation is advancing at that level, or this kind of a lethargic and disinterest, chaotic disarray can happen. That's the point, you get a higher degree of choiceless awareness. Can you be choiceless to be aware of that also? That is the way your egotism is dissolving. Otherwise, you are very egotistic. No, with my life or with my organization, there won't be any disarray. I must be taken care. And why can't you explain it? It must be explainable. And you must be discouraged and try to do it like that. But in Vipassana world, you are nowhere, but to understand it, that is very difficult. And Eric Fromm is discussing it little bit in the Fear of Freedom. And Gurdjieff dealt with that very much. And Ouspensky is the person who's writing. And that is, they are not very popular. Because you try to accommodate disorganized thing. Because education makes you organized. Marriage life, family life, office life, and all the kind of thing. You will never see Nibbana. It must be utterly smashed. Mic at Divala. Own nati Dival Kino, Elevaitan
So, Bante, the question is, we are discussing about mindfulness. This might be a back and forth conversation, but what's the relationship of mindfulness with Satara Satipatthana?
The Satipatthana, it says when you are, Satipatthana says the commentarial, meditation happens for the commoner after the Sotapanna. There are 9 stages in Vipassana. In one stage, you are with full of fear, full of everything in a flux. and you feel like escaping. So these three is the one knowledge. Everything is going to be a flux, and then you feel fear and you feel like escaping. Each person is not experiencing all the three. One or the will happen. So it's your psychological evolution. So many people can't see through it. Bhanga jnana, bhaya jnana, mujjitu kammita jnana. So people, our life is to not to go to that and luxuries and premeditated and outsource people and with the help of the doctors and the lawyers and not to face that. So you stop your evolution. The Buddha says, go to the forest, let them happen, face it. No second person, no tools, no pharmaceutical intervention. You have this possibility and potential. This is the way it is helping Satara Satipatthana.
So, does it mean the mindfulness practice that we do is not Satara Satipatthana, but it's a pathway to one day start Satara Satipatthana?
Yeah, definitely. Mindfulness is not Nibbana. Mindfulness is not the... Sati means one. Satipatthana means establishment. For foundation of mindfulness. So, to have that, you have to have some mindfulness first. So, I am teaching still one step ahead, bear attention. And then Satipatthana, when it comes, it is religious become. But bear attention is just to go the stepping stone. And you have the choice to take it further. And if it's taking, you are sacrifice your likings and disliking, your values. So therefore, two people can't share. You have to be here, now I am. And then you have to, when that situation happens, I am ready to give up my life, I am ready to give up my body. Kaya jivita anapekkata. So it is suicidal bombing. Suicidal. It's called epistemological suicidal. So people not practicing is well understood. Specifically you. I am telling you. Understand. Bloody fools.
So the question, is it correct to say someone who has not achieved Sotapanna yet can never be able to practice Satara Satipatthana?
Yeah, that's a fairly good statement. Sotapanna is the very first step, non-returnable. But in the commentarial level, it says sammasana jnana, where you can see, now I am practicing here and now, I am focusing here and now, but whatever it may be, tomorrow is the same. Yesterday I was not practicing, but still the same. And I am practicing, she is not practicing, but still the phenomena is the same. So you can see the 3 times and across everything. So when that happens, it says partially sotapan. It's called chulla sotapan. So you get the foundation in the sasana and you feel. Now it is not what the Buddha is talking, I am experiencing it. Ladda saso, ladda patitto, Buddha sasane. So he is not talking with the canonical experience. He says, yes, I had that kind of difficulties and I know it's still there, but I know the answer is there. So this is the Chulla Sotapan. And then when you become Sotapan, no one can return, no one can erase it. The Chulla Sotapan itself is fairly internal certificate. No one can give it to someone, but you can judge. I have invested so much and I feel no one can return me. Go to the different teachers, I know. That's it. So it is happening now. I am the only observer on the earth. I feel how it is happening. It's in an exponential way. Unexpected people, I mean different religious, different ages, it is happening. So I am asking them to please write testimonials. They don't know what they are talking about, but they are telling with their life experience, this is what happened. So sometimes the children died, or sometimes cancer, or sometimes this, that happened, but no impact.
Yeah, there is the next question, related to it. So, person who achieves Sotapanna, he is the one who really realizes what Dukkha Arya Satchang is.
Yeah.
But Dukkha Samudaya, Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Arya Satchang, no one before that doesn't know that. That's the realization.
Partially or momentarily that can happen. So yesterday I wrote 4 lines when that girl is asking, Samucheda, Vishkambana, Patipasaddi, and first Tadanga. And the Tadanga means momentarily you know something happened, but it is not so profound, just like a lightning happened. And then Vishkambana, sometimes remain few thought moments, few breath cycle like, and then he knows I am a destined person, I can break it. And then first he breaks Sotapanna. Sakkaya Ditthi Vicikiccha Silabha. That is non-returnable, but there are some 7. And once it is gone to the 100%, we become Patipassadi, Arahant. But even then he has to season what he got it for the rest of the life. That is called Nissarana. So therefore it is not overnight happening. It's a gradual development method also there. But I would say, unless you become Sotapanna, whatever the Sila you are protecting is Silabbata Paramasa.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
Can you translate that last one?
Silabbata Paramasa.
What does that mean?
It's a camouflage morality.
Fraudulent.
So, Sakala Satama Boru Betiyen Lanka.
That means Sila without having Samaditi.
So they don't have a base. And they say, I never kill animal, I never rob, I never do sexual bragging.
So if you know you're fraudulent, what does that mean?
That is a good thing. That's a vipassana. Otherwise, person like me cannot go. I am such a mercenary. I have done all the dirty things and done purposely, done in the intentionally. So I told Venerable Dhammika, don't teach me mindfulness. I am such a person. Never mind. I never told you that there's a basic qualification to be mindful. You can try. I mean, it was a crowning like me. I mean, you can practice. So Angulimala and kind of thing, Buddha never asked any qualifications.
And Bhante, not much has been written about the Vipassana jnanas. Can you share with us your experience of the...
Venerable Janarama's book is the one. Sattva Visuddhisa Vidassana Jnana, it's very famous. And Mahasi Sayadaw's treatise is 1,000 pages. So you can't claim it is not published.
But so is there, in my experience, there's not a lot of personal stories about what it was like to go through...
These are what you call commentaries.
Can you tell us about the Vayana?
No, I am not telling.
I think I'm dealing with the Vayana, so
I am dealing with
Vayana.
Yeah, that is, you can tell what the Vayana is. That you are qualified. So he is going to put me in trouble. He sees yes. I am a fool.
Yes, I think my question is not exactly that. It's somewhat related. It might take a couple of minutes to explain the question, right? So, yes. So, whoever who achieves Sotapanna, he knows the path, 8-fold path, not anyone before that. So, it's only the Buddha who can realize within himself what Vipassana is and teach others. This is Vipassana. Vipassana is nothing but your path leading to Nibbana.
Vipassana is no path. Disarray. Be prepared for that. Vipassana, if you are going to have a path for Vipassana, you are mad. You are misrepresenting Buddha.
I did not say that.
That is why he is asking the 9 jnanas. It's a kind of a linear arrangement. But they are, I mean, not directly in the canon. So we wanted to have a whole system in the linear system. So educated people very happy to have a linear system. I mean, sometimes it's helpful to communicate. But Vipassana is disarray. I mean, no methods. But still, you see, it's no harm. Anything goes. And that is the person I call Girl Guide or a Boy Scout. Be prepared.
I'm struggling to understand your version of Vipassana and the Buddha's teaching. That's my confusion.
You start the sentence with I. I try to, that means you are a fool. I can't understand it. As far as I is there, no understanding. You try to crowning your I, your ego. So you have to come down. And very humble. Understand the Buddha's way and Dhammajiva's way and your ways. Everything valid. Till you become Sotapanna. And I will give you one very, very supportive clue. Till you become Sotapanna, Buddha says, I am responsible. Once you become Sotapanna, Buddha says, okay, get up and go. So nowadays, people are at least talking. In 60s, 70s, 80s, in this very life, never mentioned in Sri Lankan Buddhism. Under such circumstances, only Venerable Jnanarama wrote about the 7 stages and purification. The first glance, when I am looking at, I feel like I have read a lot of prescriptions, but this is something different. When I reach Venerable Jnanarama, I told Bhante, I am just robust young man, beard is up to this much, hair is so much. I am wearing a just suit. All told that we don't know how to talk with that kind of a caliber monk. I am the person going. And very difficult to meet also. Then I pay respect, I told, Bhante, I never bought even a beetle leaf. I am not expecting anything from even an advice. I just wanted to pay respect to these legs, those who have written the book. ඒ මහත්තයා එහෙම කතා කරන්න කියලා. දැන් මම පොත් කියවලා තියෙනවා ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මේක මට වැදුනා. බලන්නකෝ නන්නාඳුන ඉලන්දාරි මේක කියවලා වැඩක් ගන්න හොඳයිනේ. මහත්තයා එන ඉදිරි කාලේ විවේකීන්ට තැනක් හොයාගන්න. That's all conversation.
Would you mind translating that, Bhante?
Eh?
Would you mind translating?
No. Useless. Hopeless. Single ඉගෙන ගන්න ඉන්දියා. සිංහල කොල්ලෙක්. නිකන් උඩ හරුංගලේ උඩ ඇරියා වගේ ඉන්න හදන්නේ අපිට ඇවිල්ලා නිකන් සත්තන් දාන්න හදන්නේ. I find fault with the Maha. So I have a conflict. I have a conflict with the linear relationship and the system approach. Linear relationship, you know, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the system is you have to comprehend everything in the matrix. So right brain is with the matrix. Left brain is with the linear system. So education is promoting the linear system. Ultimately you go mad. So much so, you lose the point, as this girl explained. You don't feel like the world. So you have no feeling for world. You have no feeling for the animals. You don't know how much you are consumerizing. Because you don't have the system approach. So religious is for the system approach.
You are saying it should not be a linear system, but it should be a linear progress, right?
No, linear is what is the progress happening. Vipassana, no progress. What progress? You are losing yourself.
Even Buddha, in the first Dhammadeshana, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, he clearly stated the linear system. It's Satyajnana.
Explain me the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra. What are the linearity?
Yes, that's what I'm going to explain. So, number one, Buddha said Satyajnana.
Right?
Satyajnana.
Yeah.
This is the Dukkhang Arya Satya. This is the Dukkha Samudayang Arya Satya. That's the first step. You can't go to the second step without the first step. So linear. Second thing is Krutyajnana. Once you know the Satyajnana, this is what you have to do. When you realize, then only the path opens up. That's the execution. Krutyajnana. Once the execution is done, you achieve the third step, which is, okay, you know it's done. Isn't it a linear progression?
So, okay, it's a theory. But have Buddha mentioned any person or any kind of a personification of that, or the truth? Soon you personify it, you misunderstand Buddha. This is theory. Personification happen. To personification of the linearity or system approach happen. So you can write anything. But personification of the truth, that is what happened by introducing the God. Truth is personified as the God. So people only worship the God. They don't understand the truth. But the Buddha gave the depersonalized truth that Buddhists do not understand it. To have the linearity or to have the system, you should have a one person concern. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is not specialized to you or no other person. Theory. Give a thought. So this is how the God creation happened. People can't comprehend. They told that the truth is the God. But the Buddha's truth is depersonalized God. And exactly the cross-section happened with Sri Shankar. Remember last time we discussed about the Sri Shankar's Nirvana Satakam? Have you heard about Nirvana Satakam? No. He says that the personified truth and the depersonalized truth. So not a single Buddhist monk on Sri Lanka to talk about that. Truth is there, no problem. But we try to personalize it, either to Buddha or to you. So much so it is become inferior. Either you have to collapse in the time or space. Then linearity can happen. That's a ruining, that's a collapsing. Time and space. Difficult. Bahituama Vishwa kela ne. Vishwas naha. Unvishwasable.
I'm taking, I mean,
You can take.
Buddha stated the suttas and the advices, it's not for no reason, right? It for...
I mean, definitely there's a reason. Moment you put in the time dimension, the space dimension, it become inferior.
Correct. But Buddha taught those suttas, advices, to the people who are within the space and time dimensions, not to the people who have crossed that boundary. So Buddha taught those suttas to us who are within the space and time limitation.
So you are fighting within the Buddha's teaching to fix the space and time. You are a fool.
No.
You must try to get beyond.
Yes. How to get beyond, how to cross that boundary, only a Buddha can teach.
No. You are Buddha. Dude, you are making yourself inferior. I am the Buddha. That is why the Nirvana Sadhguru says, Shivoham. I am Shiva. So we people are very inferior. They say we cannot be Buddha. So then whatever you are doing is you are undermining yourself. You are within the framework of time and space. So your Buddha's theory is separate, but you are understanding in the limitations. You are guarding and safeguarding and protecting it. Very difficult.
Easy.
Huh?
No, not so easy.
No, that is why. So therefore, in a discussion, we can thrash out. Personally, you can't do it. Individually, you can't do it. In the personally, we can thrash out. We can say, you are wrong, you are wrong. You can tell, I am wrong. So I say, even a Tadanga Nibbhuti is Nibbhuti. Even a split second Nibbana is Nibbana. So we have already seen it. What the hell you are searching? So yesterday also we mentioned that in the cartoon, the small fish go and ask the big fish, what is the water? So what is the answer? You are in it, you are born in the water and die in the water. You don't know water. So being a human is Nibbana.
So then what's the purpose of Buddha's advices and sutta? If everything is like dismissed, okay, you are within the system, you are full, what is the purpose of Buddha's teaching for us?
Catalyzing. Just you to see in a different perspective. You have the possibility and the potential, but you don't know. You are innocent. So Buddha is giving some hints. You and me are the same. So I am giving this, try and see. Be mindful. And then one day you will understand that nothing Buddha gave me. It's my potential. It is my possibility. It's a catalyzing, the pointer is the mindfulness. It's called Esani Salaka. You don't like, you think that Buddha has something to do to you. No. He says, I am sorry, you have to do yourself. I just say the path. Because our Buddhists are very inferior. They are doing the best. They are doing very marvelous thing. But always put, I can't go beyond space and time. The space and time is a mind-made illusion.
Yeah. That statement is still an illusion, right? Because we are within that domain.
Well, otherwise, how can we talk? How can we come to the Vishwas house? Exactly. But we have to understand that always we must not be in that limitation. We must not say, must always with the time and space limitation. We have our potential. It is a birthright. I can't give a thing for you. Buddha can't give. Right. So we can't expect the Almighty God and kind of thing. Inferiority. You are the Buddha. Buddhoham Bodhisami. I will bring up Buddha and let others know.
Oh, sorry, Bhante. And when you get that break in rationality, you see the scriptures are not correct, and at the same time your appreciation for the Buddha goes up.
In the Zen Buddhism it says, when the pointer is given to the sun, moon is not here. You have to see the projection and then only the moon happens. Have you heard about this Zen story? The finger is there, but the disciple is asking, where is the moon? So you are looking at the end of the finger. No, you have to do the projection and then it is to the moon. That projection is your duty.
Sorry?
That projection and proceeding is your duty. Teacher is pointing. And at the end of the finger, no moon. Moon is far away. So therefore, scripts, very good. And then we have a common ground. We can go and read that sutta, this sutta. You must not understand, you must not misunderstand. Sutta is not the Nibbana and sutta is not the Buddha.
That's correct. So, but the danger is, if I take the same example, the teacher is pointing to the moon with his finger.
Yeah.
Look this way, right? Yes. Number one, if someone is looking at the tip of the finger, not look beyond the moon, that's wrong. But if someone uses the same, same theory and try to justify looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, no point looking at the finger, so it's okay to look somewhere else. That's wrong too. That's where the sutta is a guidance.
No, I mean, say Dhamman, even with the pointers, he can look this way.
Exactly.
So that I would say still it is a radical way. We don't see, that's a separate issue.
Right.
We have to appreciate it. Even without the pointers, some people can see the moon. Because moon is not related to the finger. So that part, in 81, 82, they were teaching me, I mean, kind of an informal way, read as much as possible, but it won't lead you somewhere. You are the same fool. You may be by heart all the Tripitaka, but definitely you are destined to hell. Because it's making you sit is a separate issue. Because if you read carefully the Bible, facts are there. If you read the Mahabharata is not the whole this thing. Everywhere it is there. If you are looking from that mindset, so therefore what you see, that you are. If you are enlightened, even the fire, water, Air can teach you. But till enlightenment, the fire can't teach air. Air can't teach this thing because that your mind is with the blinkers. So for that, meditation won't help. The correct view won't help. Only your inferential knowledge is helping you. Only your deductive knowledge is helping you. That is the endowment for human being. Therefore, that part is in the theory, yes. But you have to understand how to extract the deductive part in the theory.
Yeah, you can't get there, but it can help.
It is one of the fifth.
Right.
You can't do away with that, but it is not the only sole thing. So that, you see, in the Chankhya Sutta, Buddha is giving a marvelous way of presentation. So we are on the way, at least, very safely we can say. But we have to fight. I mean, whether you're on the way or not, we have to fight each other.
Yeah, isn't that why Buddha even said like Patipucca Vinita? Yes, question, but don't cross the boundary that Buddha said. Right, meaning like
No, don't ask foolish question.
right. So Vinita, there what I understood was yes, Patipucca, is this guy pointing the finger at the moon? Just question, but don't cross means okay, this may not be the moon. So Buddha is pointing. Look somewhere else. So Vinita, you have to like discipline yourself.
You are the bloody fool wrote this argument. So you are the undisciplined person.
Why?
The use is by pointing that the other person can look at there. That is going beyond the questioning layers. You are proving you are a fool.
Why? I didn't
Now
understand.
you told, even looking that, people can look outside. Yes. So don't ask this question. Well, it is beyond the questioning. It's the purpose of the questioning. It is radical. Yes, I accept it. But you prove, by the second statement, you prove you are a fool. Ask that question.
I did not ask a question there.
You told.
I told.
Yes.
So that's not a question though.
That is the way. That's the way, indisciplined way. You must understand we are in a discussion. We must not be misdirected. Very difficult to get the pinpointed this thing. So always try to put into that rather than asking this and that. Not to discourage questioning, I am telling. But in the questioning itself, there's a restraint. There's a discipline. So that you feel whenever you go among the Vipassana people, I mean, 1,000 options are there. They are not talking about. They know very difficult to keep the track. So therefore, somehow they have to push into the track. So therefore, otherwise you will ask this and that. So better not to have that kind of congregation, a discussion. I mean, nothing hateful. But the people do not know how to discuss, how to be a discussant, how to point into the point, this thing. It's a deep desire, and it is in the language also there, syntax also there. It's very difficult. Buddha is the expert. The way the question asked, Buddha gives the answer. He never put anything.
I'm enjoying the two of you go to war with each other. I'm enjoying the two of you going to war with each other.
That is the way. That is why we are coming once in a year, just to fight. Are we going to hug each other? Are we going to kiss each other? The devil will kiss you. The truth will bless you.
Was the last part?
The truth will bless you. Devil will kiss you. So we are not here to, I mean, Peter Khan මොකද්ද කියන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්? Back cries. Back cries.
Yeah. Otherwise, like if you keep saying yes to whatever yes that he says, right?
No,
It's boring, right?
Yeah, and
Someone has to put a bicycle ලාරකට fork එකක් අස්සේ කොල්ලන. මම හරි ආසයි. එම්බරිලා වැටෙන්නේ. පයින් යනකොට කකුල් දෙක දැම්මට එච්චර යන්නේ බයිසිකල් එක.
yeah, Bhante, I feel like any fight to understand is in vain.
Any fight?
To understand the truth is in vain.
No. Action, reaction and the synthesis. Synthesis happen only when the action hit reaction. Buddha says, Dwara Arambana Tadugopan. Dwara means the eye. Aramana means the visual object. When it come and hit the eye only, seeing consciousness happen. So therefore always you are fighting. Thesis, antithesis and synthesis. Karl Marx says the same. Isaac Newton is the same. Buddha also the same.
What I mean, Bhante, is that I found that sense of bafflement, dumbfoundedness, bewilderment, not understanding I can't comprehend, that was the peak of my experience. So now I feel that fighting to understand in a rational way...
No, not fighting to understand. You have to object. And then only the truth can happen. I mean, when the magnesium is rubbed with something rough, then the spark happens. So therefore you have to give an impact. Otherwise,
probably what I did not understand. What did you mean by fighting in that sense? Is it a
so I feel like
of disagreement?
No, I'm not talking about what you're saying. I feel that something happened to me, and I can attribute it to the Buddha, the Dhamma, Sangha, and I feel the fear of that truth. So my fighting is basically I feel the fear of that dissolution, that destruction, and I'm fighting it. I'm fighting to reassemble, to make sense, to give myself a foundation. Right? You follow me, Bhante?
You are talking about the two people or within yourself?
No, myself.
Then it is not a fight. It is not, in the common sense, it is not a fight.
Something is happening.
Yeah, that's okay. But it says that criticism can be constructive or destructive. So you can be criticize without hate. And that is what the noble quest. It is not a fight. That girl mentioned, I am telling you without hate. I have no anger with you. I am talking about the future generation. So I am very powerful.
Yes, Bhante. I suppose what I mean is, on the way here we were talking about disarray, and I feel like you are disarray, and I feel that disarray happening to my mind, and I'm fighting it.
That is what you call infesting the mindfulness is in the contagious level. I have the cough. I have the cold. I am freely distributing. Very happy. That more and more people get it. I have no any. I am not thrifty. No.
And I asked you how am I to survive this? You told me
no. That how I survive means the most foolish question on the earth.
Yeah.
I.
Yes.
Then what else? You create I first, and then you have your prime duty to thrive it or sustain it.
So when that feeling of vipassana comes, that emptiness arises, how to be brave enough to let it come fully?
So it is like he said that the Buddha has given the linear system in the Dhammajiva Sutra. When I am going to impose to me, it's a completely independent thing. Buddha has mentioned, but 1,000 listen, no one is taking care. And I feel I must take. And then onward, different story. But everyone, as far as Buddha is mentioned, everyone must understand, there is no such a rule. So it is a coincidence. After the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, you would have had so much of life cycles. It never gave any impact. But this life happened. Who is responsible?
So the same thing that Ranga said, vipassana and emptiness, right? Emptiness could be like gap between two thoughts or anything. Where is it related? Is it someone's own idea?
If there is a relationship, it's a lenient. System means no relationship.
Sorry, I think I was not clear on the question. So the vipassana is sort of defined as like emptiness, observing the emptiness. That's what I heard in this forum.
So, I mean, vipassana or emptiness or nibbana have many facets, many definitions. It's called uddesa, to define it. So, one thing can have different names.
Correct. So the name is okay. The meaning of emptiness.
It is empty of self. It is, what is the term you use? Emptiness. Emptiness, it's empty of self. So therefore, that is the nibbana, that is the vipassana, that is the lead. Tucchato, ritato, sujnato, anattato. To pratyaya is using, look at as if it is empty. Look at as if it is useless, no meaning. Look at as if it is no pit. Not that you are in the no pit, your mindset must be to see these things are no tuccha, rita, anatta, shunya.
I think on that, I think my understanding is a bit different. I can explain it. If it is not correct, you can correct it. So
No, I am not responsible for that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I can explain. So my understanding is, let's say, in this world, I say, avidya paccaya sankhara, Buddha said. Yes, if there is avidya, then there is sankhara. Avidya nirodho, sankhara nirodha. That's the script. Avidya paccaya sankhara, avidya nirodha, sankhara nirodha. If there exists a sankhara such that avidya paccaya also sankhara, avidya nirodha also sankhara. Let's assume for the moment. There exists sankhara, avidya paccaya sankhara, avidya nirodha is sankhara. So sankhara exists independent of avidya. This is a standalone thing. It's a permanent thing. Then by...
I don't understand the words, just so you know.
Oh,
just explain, let him explain.
No, I'm saying I don't understand the...
Yeah, definitely, you never understand. You explain.
So, if there exists sankhara like that, independent of avidya, standalone it exists.
That is called nirupadisesa nirvana, saupadisesa nirvana.
So that's not what I'm explaining. So my point is, if there exists something like that, then we can say that is nicha. That is not sunya. But Buddha said, I am explaining things in the middle path. Avidya paccaya sankhara, avidya nirodha, sankhara nirodha. Because of that sankhara is not nicha. If it exists independent of avidya, then it is nicha. There is not...
Your point is sharp, but still understand, you become an arahant. It's not parinibbana. At that level, there are some sanskara. But you know it. Because you have to maintain 6 senses. So there is some pain, torturing. But he never complained.
Yes, that's a different discussion. That's not the point that I'm bringing up here.
I know that you are going to say, and you can as well raise the argument, avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara, it's a lenient.
No, that's not the argument.
No, you can raise that also.
Right.
But when you are learning Maha Nidana Sutta, the Buddha is giving this way and that way. This is the way Buddha put it in the simple way for a normal person to understand and theoretical understanding. But when it is happening, avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya avidya, is reciprocal in each and every level. With Jnanananda, furtherance, he says, avijja pacca sankara, sankara pacca vijnana, vijnana pacca namarupa, namarupa pacca salayatana, salayatana passa, passa pacca vedana. We can't understand, only Buddha can understand. Vedana onward only our foolish mind can understand. But that part we have to accept on faith. But everywhere it is reciprocal. Namarupacha vijnana, vijnanapacha namarupa, well explained. So therefore, child, mother parturiate child and child again parturiate the mother. I mean, there is no child, she will never become a mother. Child is the person giving the motherhood. But we never say. We say the mother is the person giving the childhood. Child.
Yeah, I understand, but that's not my point again. It's a completely different thing. So my point is about anicca and sunya, whatever impermanent. That's what I'm going to explain.
Sunya is nicca.
So if there exists, we just assume that it's hypothetically exists a fact. If you don't like avidya pacha sankara, let's imagine some fact. If avidya presents, that fact presents. If avidya eliminates, still the fact is present, it is nicca. Now Buddha says, avidya pacha sankara, avidya nirodha, sankara nirodho. Then sankara is not nicca, is anicca. That's the definition, that's the meaning of anicca that I understood. Sinhalese simply converted, translated it to anitya. Then they put Buddha's anicca definition to the trash and then started to dissect and analyze the meaning of anitya. Nitya means permanence, anitya means not permanent, then impermanence. People start to say impermanence. But the real meaning of anicca is there is nothing standalone. Avidya pacha sankara, avidya nirodha sankara nirodha. If avidya nirodha also sankara is
So
there,
that
then
you get trapped in the words. It says anicca is nicca. Anityata, everything is anicca. That is a permanent truth. Niccang aniccanti vadanti samana gatampi binde kalahan karonte. It's a joke in the Burmese. The monks are always telling the lay people, everything is anicca, everything anicca. He always telling, nicca. But even the disciple going to break the clay pot, he whacked the fellow. Telling always everything is anicca. Niccang aniccanti. He's always telling anicca, anicca is nicca. So therefore, the shunya means fully contented. Tucca means the fully rich. So therefore, when you are going to limit the words, you get entrapped. That's why he says that when you come up to that level, the languages have its own its limitations.
Language have limitations, but language does the job that the finger does.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. So language can't lead to Nibbana.
Correct. Language does what the finger does. I will bring that up again. If you don't look beyond the finger, if you look at the different direction, that's where you have to be very careful. So that's where you need to use the language. Don't misinterpret.
So language is an unavoidable devil. You have to use it, knowing the limitations.
Exactly. That's where I still have doubts that emptiness is the sunya that Buddha said. I do not agree with that, with facts.
No, emptiness in shunya is two languages. Emptiness in English, sunya is in Sanskrit.
Yes, those are the words. The meaning given to those words, like a gap between two thoughts, that emptiness is what Buddha said as sunya, which I don't believe. The reason is everything Buddha said, yo paticca samuppadam passasi, so dhammam passati. If someone realizes paticca dependent origination, I say he saw Dhamma. That's what Buddha said.
But so, when it is happening, the particular person understood is vanished.
That's true. That's true. I agree 100%. I agree with 100%. What I don't agree is that emptiness is a myth. That's a wrong translation from Buddha's Sunya.
Definitely.
And then
Translation-wise, weaknesses are there, but by argumenting and akara parivitaka, you can't reach the truth.
Yes. But you, with argument and akara parivitaka, you can stay on course with the finger.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Understanding the limitations, that's the wisdom. That's what you call wisdom.
Exactly. So that's why you can say anicca is not impermanence. Sunyata is not emptiness. There's a utter distortion of Buddha's.
There are translation difficulties. Mindfulness is not the sati.
So even say dukkhaṃ ariya saccāṃ is not dukkha. Buddha says sabbe saṅkhāra dukkha. He explained. So then you winning a lottery is dukkha. It's not a suffering. You having a pain is a suffering. Having a pain, winning a lottery, both are dukkhaṃ ariya saccāṃ. There is a common quality.
Even the mindfulness is dukkhaṃ ariya saccāṃ.
Yes.
So many people in the mindful school never consider the sati as a dukkha satya. To understand it, they have to commit suicide.
Yeah, that is, I believe, I put a blame on people who even translate dukkhaṃ ariya saccāṃ as dukkha, dukkhaṃ ariya saccāṃ as suffering. I put the blame on them. The reason is even Buddha said, Pubbe anunusutesu dhammesu. He understood something that was never heard of.
Translation is, we can find fault with the translation, but we lucky enough, we can directly understand Pali without waiting on the translation. But translation gives different shades of meaning. Definitely not the exactly thing translated. I use Sanskrit, I use Pali, Burmese, Sinhala, English. So if I wish to know the one word, so I look up from all the sides of it, then I feel day by day more the translation I get, the understanding becomes somewhat bigger. So I invite everyone to learn all the languages and see all kind of things, and then you get the different versions, different shades of meaning. So it is your individual right.
Even within one language, what I have found is, if you compare different sutras, still you have a way to understand that this is a wrong translation. I'll give you an example. Even in school, we have MCQ questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Find the right answer. Sometimes, even though you don't know the answer,
you can win.
Yes, you can see like a theory of negation. This is not possible. This is not possible. Exactly. So same thing here in Bhaddekaratta Sutta. Buddha said, "Atitan nannagameya, nappakatikanke anagatam." Clearly, Buddha said, past is gone. Future has not come. If you try to contemplate anything in the past, anything in the future, you can't win this race. It's not a path. So now take the interpretation of anicca as impermanence. Can you define impermanence, ඇති වෙනවා නැති වෙනවා, passing and arising, whatever, without connecting with the past? You have to use the past to say impermanent. So then you are violating Buddha's own advice. If you dwell in the past, if you use the past, if you use the future, there is no vipassana. There is not vipassana. There is no path to nibbana. So by defining anicca as impermanence is an utter distortion. I'm not looking at the word impermanence. The meaning they give. Oh, everything changes. Everything changes.
You have to understand at the impermanent level, you are in the world. So you have the time dimension. You have to have the space dimension. But whenever you are understanding impermanent in the realizing way, you are slowly leaving the world. You are leaving the time and space. And then you cannot exist. Even the word meaning cannot exist. But the function happen, done. So therefore you are comparing two worlds. So then you can't end up your argument.
That's 200% agree. But my point is a different point, which is, if you when Buddha said anicca, if you comprehend it as, okay, anicca, venas vena, impermanence, and if you think that is what Buddha said, you are narrowed yourself down in that wrong path.
No, the point is still you are niche, you are existing.
Keep you, I aside.
No. It's a very good point. You say, I understand anicca.
No.
If it is so, you are first establish yourself and said, I am a very advanced person, I understood anicca. You are utter fool.
That is not what I said. What I said was, it's nothing to do with me. It's a phenomenon itself. And we are not there yet. That's why I exist. Right? As long as I exist, I don't even understand what Buddha said.
Yeah,
whenever the realization of Paticca Samuppada, then only the understanding is there.
Then only you are committing suicide.
Yes.
That is what Thomas Merton, he says, suicidal nibbana. And that's why general people don't meditate. They have that sense. Meditation means, realization means suicidal.
Otherwise, the point is, there is a danger that like there are anya tirthaka dham, right? Buddha said like you can split a hair of a horse into 16 pieces, not cut into 16 pieces, split into 16 pieces. Keep it over there, take another 1/16th of a piece, try to shoot it. How difficult it is. Understanding Dhamma is more than difficult. That's what Buddha said.
That particular person is nihilist and become nihilistic. He annihilate.
Everywhere else you shoot is someone else's teaching. It could be Ajita Kesa Kambali, Nigandanatha Pusa's teaching, right? If we go through one of their paths and still think, okay, this is Buddha's path, it's not the correct way.
That's your mindset. How it is happening. So whenever the correct mindset happens, you are no more.
That's the point that I am really like worried about. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Say you have a battery, you have a bulb here. You connect the battery with the two wires, and then on one of the wire you have a switch. Right now there are two people, and someone is turning on the switch, turning off the switch. This is a very good example. There are two people looking at this phenomenon. One person looks at it this way. Okay, there is a battery, there is a wire, there is a bulb. When you turn the switch on, the circuit completes, the bulb lights up. When you turn it off, circuit disconnects, bulb goes off, right? That's person number one. That's how he views it. Person number two, this is very important. He looks at only the bulb. Okay, bulb lights up, goes off, lights off. He looks at only the event. Out of the two people, who do you think is doing samudaya vaya, like passing and arising, looking at? I believe it's the first person, not the second person. Second person is looking at the event. At Dhammajiva, you even talked about like tip of the iceberg, right? So that's like, I believe, not out of disrespect, that I believe is like the second person. So let's say if you take the second person, you can ask the second, look very closely. You when you look far away, you will only see the brightest moment. If you look further in, you will see the bottom of the iceberg. You will see, okay, the faint light starts up. It's become brighter, and then it goes down like this. So it's the second person who is not looking at samudaya. The person who looks at samudaya, why this happens? Okay, there's a battery, there's the wires, there's a bulb, there's a switch. That's the seeing of Samupada.
That is what I call you are trying to explain in the linear system. You are supporting the linear system. But there's another method, total system also can understand. So therefore this example is not a good example. It's supporting only the linear system, Reiki Akrame. Very difficult. You have to understand the upama-upamaya connection. We are getting wasted, we are getting lost. And therefore communication is very difficult. So, but in the Dhamma discussion, we try our best to get different shades of meaning, and we are definitely, I am assuring, we are advancing. We are advancing. So therefore, who is the losing, who is the winner, no problem. The dialogue is happening for 2,500 years. So we are presently doing holding the live wire. We'll fight till tomorrow morning. No problem. No problem. Okay, now these are very theory bias. We can argue, and if anyone, before finishing, if anyone having any other pragmatic questions or any.
This is about the choiceless awareness. I may have a incorrect understanding, but so when I notice in the day-to-day life, maybe I don't know what the trigger is, but sometimes this thought comes, and I know I have seen that before. I'm very angry at something, but what I have noticed is if I let it go, then the whole sequence will happen. But at the same time, I have the choice of stopping it. So, is choiceless awareness means to let it go and see the whole sequence?
Yeah.
So that is what is recommended?
I mean, that choiceless awareness maybe have different shades of meaning.
Right.
For example, painful feeling happens. Pain. Feeling painful.
Right.
So at the beginning, it's pain. Continuing pain. But the end, pleasure.
Right.
So if you are deciding painful pain is a pain, you have fair rights to say, because you have only seen the beginning and the middle. But you are not waiting to see the disappearance. Disappearance is pain, disappearance is pleasure.
I see.
And the pleasurable feeling was the same. Yesterday when after our session, Kumari came. She never asked him, but can I have a few minutes? Last time I blackguarded, but anyway, yes, I told her, never mind. Then she says, Bhante, I have a pain, and you ask me to look at the pain, and you are telling at the end of it, it's a pleasure. But I never believed it. And one day, I was just observing appearing and disappearance, and I just about to understand, end of the pain is a pleasure. So if you are judgmental and decided halfway, verily you as explained, you will say painful is pain. What the hell? Where is the pleasure? Because you are not waiting the end. You are catching yet another one.
Thank you. I understand. Thank you very much, Bhante.
මූට දෙන්න එපා මයික් එක දැන්. කඩප්පයින්න ගහනවා දැන්.
Same thing, like similar to Tusita, where
මොකද නම උද්දිත මොකද?
Tusita.
තුසිත.
So this happened while brushing the teeth. So when you have to make a decision, not a decision, when you have to make an action, right? So brushing your teeth, let's say you just observe it. Now you have to make a decision, like to stop brushing or so brush somewhere else. I believe Tusita's question is similar to that, where we have a choice while doing choiceless awareness. We have to make an action. Right? Should I take the action or delay the action?
So Venerable Professor Padmasiri told motivational theory. To do something, there should have a motivation. So to get enlightened, to be the moral person, you get the dana. You have to have in this thing. But when it is happening with the sila level and the samadhi level, the intention is there. Motivation. Vipassana, when we are accepting everything is chaotic, no beginning, no middle, no end, your intention become lost. The Buddha explained it in a very nice stanza. Namo te purisa janya, namo te purisuttama, yasate nabi janami, yampinisaya jayati. The Buddha says, Brahma and the Devas paying respect to that genius person. Purisa janya, it's a well-bred person. Purisuttama, genius, he don't know why he's meditating. As far as he knows, even success or failure, egotism. Vipassana, utter chaotic. He is doing for the sake of doing. So no happening, no good, no achievement, no correct or wrong. So that mindset never happen if you have Sila and Samadhi. Even if you have Sila Samadhi, that may not happen. When it is happening, we call that is the Buddha Sasana. That's the dispensation of the Buddha. So there are some relationships. So in Vipassana, we understand the chaotic, disarray, flux, santati. No harm, no problem. So that is the point where the language can explain or not, no harm. Whether you get enlightened or not, no harm. So doing for the sake of doing. So normal people, rational people never appreciate it. That you have to take a decision.
Oh, sorry, Bhante. How did you work up the courage to let the chaos be?
Courage is necessary for the moral and the concentration. And it is giving you to gamble your life. Suicidal.
So how did you, is it not courage to gamble your life?
You can't say it's a courage. It's a very, very, radical thing.
Something that just happens to you?
No, he sees early signs. And he says, for example, I will tell you, we had a session in Peradeniya. And it was a very small hall. But when Jnanavira told he is going to bring 30 monks and 30 nuns. And the room is not enough. Then I told, being the nuns and monks, I told Jnanavira, you can't question, you are completely outcasted. I accept all the 60. And they were sitting. And other people right round, they are waiting and raining. After that, I told that it's 4 o'clock past, I have to run. I have to go to 3 hours back to the Nissarana. And then one monk came and told, Bhante, I need one minute. I told, what the hell, Yako? I was given 1.5 hours and are you female or male? He was little discouraged. Then again I asked, Bhante, only 1 minute. Then I told, no. Because I have to take 3 hours. And still Bhaga is waiting. So I put the robes and came, okay, tell me. Bhante, 2 times I tried to disrobe whenever Jnanavira told not to do it. Today, whenever Jnanavira told to accept, I came to the discussion packed up. Today I am going to discuss. I told I am back to the fellow that being Buddha Sasana is such a live thing. You the hell yet you are going to disrobe. And he says, no, Bhante, just listen. You told some people when they are in gambling, in Sri Lankan way, they have nothing to, deal. He remove his sorrow. And give it to the other person, get lost. Then he covered this thing and go home. අමුඩෙත් තුකසට තියලා අද්දකෙන් වහගෙන ගෙදර යනවා කියලා ඔබ අන්ති කිව්වනේ විපස්සනා කියලා. අන්න ඒක ඇහිච්ච වෙලාව මට හිතුණා විපස්සනා කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඒක ගැම්බ්ලින් එකක්. ඒ ගැම්බ්ලර් ගේ මනුස්සයට ආයේ ගෑණි උකස් තියෙනවා. මාළේ උකස් තියෙනවා. ඕනේ දෙයක් තියෙනවානේ. ඌ අන්තිමට උකස් තියන්නේ අමුඩේ. ඕ සරම. That click, Bhante, I am not going to disrobe. So, but even then if you are going to destroy, you whack the fellow, you have no rights because this Sasana is very live. So therefore, who the hell in the present day meditation to sacrifice the life and the body? Ultimatum. I mean, you may not do it, but you have to have that mindset. So that is the way, that's the way the faith on the Buddha. Other people always compromising. So much so they get up in the language and the teachers and the methods and all the kind of thing. But if you are ready, jump into the river, no nakat. I nakat balana denna paina kai තියෙන්නේ. උඹලා සේරම කරන්නේ බොරු. එච්චරයි කියන්නේ. මේ සයිඩ් ලයින් එකේ ඉඳගෙන නිවන් දකින්න හදනවා මිසක්කා එක එක්කත් not made up, not මොකක්ද කියන්නේ විශ්වාසපන්ති, unවිශ්වාසබල්. මම විශ්වා කියලා කිව්වට මුට කියන්නේ අන්විශ්වාස.
What is Vishwa? What does Vishwa mean?
Vishwa means that the universe. Universe. And Vishwasa means trust.
Mm-hmm.
That is that you can't understand pun. That is a pun of the words.
Bhante, do you remember a time when you were afraid to let go of the sarong and a time that you did let go of the sarong?
I mean, that is what I was explaining and tried to do. People try to make me a decent person. I am very sorry. I am not a decent person.
But at some point you must have been afraid to let go of the sarong.
I mean, in the younger age, if I am wearing the upper part, never the down part. That's my hobby. So my elder sister always bring not only the sarong, belt. When I am climbing trees, sometimes if the sarong is available, upper part is not available. Even now, at the age 75, I sometimes dream I go to the school without sarong. And now teacher is about to come. So I am finding ways to, in the classroom, what to do. Wherever I go for a bath, I never wear anything. It's an insult for the bath. So that is the way. So when I am telling like that, people say I am an aboriginal. I am not a decent person. I am not uncivilizable. So I think it is something related to Vipassana. මම මේ ගෙනාවේ මේ තාත්තයි වැඩක් ගන්න. කීයද වෙලාවද? මේ මතකද පොඩි උන්ට උගන්ලා මතකද මේ සරල අනුවර්තීය ක්‍රියා. Simple reciprocal action. Pendulum එක වැඩ කරන්නේ නැති. මොකක්ද ඒකට කියන්නේ? Pendulum. Actually, how do you... සිංහලෙන් නෙවෙයි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? නෑ. ඒකට තියෙනවා harmonic මේක පොඩ ඇඳලා පෙන්නන්න මට ඒකේ පොඩි පොයින්ට් එකක් හදන්න තියෙනවා. You have to teach these students simple harmonic motion. You have to teach. හරියට උඹට තේරුණාට උඹට තේරුණාට අනික උන්ට තේරෙන්න පොඩ්ඩ ලිය ඇඳපන්කෝ. He will observe. He will find fault with you. I also will contribute because උඹලා මේ පැත්තට වල්ලා කොපේන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය.
So you have to
අර මයිකේ තියන්න.
With the stand.
Oh, with the stick.
උන්ට තේරෙන්නේ. හරි කාටද කියලා දෙන්නකො මොනවා හරි ෆිසික්ස් ඇතුව හරි නැතුව හරි අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ.
Say it in English.
Simple harmonic.
simple harmonic motion කියන්නේ දැන් අපි හිතමු දැන් යම් කිසි විදිහකින් මෙතන මේ ලක්ෂයක් තියෙනවා මේක there's a point and it moves between the two end points in a certain way and that way is that it goes this way, and as it goes, it slows down. At this point, it basically stops and reverses, and then slowly starts back. And here I think it's higher speed, and then it reduces again. At this point, it becomes 0 and reverses. So that is basically the motion. But this can be related to a sine wave, basically. You can derive derivation.
There are two ways to explain, right? One is the visible motion, other
Right.
one is the sinusoidal.
Right. So if you take how this motion is related to a pendulum is that if you think of a pendulum swinging back and forth. So suppose I move this here and let it go so there's a weight here, right? It's think of it as a string attached to a ball, and the ball has some weight. The string is stretched here, and I let it go. So you will see this going like that. And if you look at only one axis of the motion, say this is the x-axis, right? Not rotating. That would also be something. Yeah, that would also be. It's not simple, but it's a periodic, right? So this is in one plane. This is moving in one plane. Huh?
No, that simple harmonic is what I...
That's what you are. So
we have to keep it. So another shade of feeling, it is rotating.
That is periodic, but simple harmonic motion is when this pendulum, you can think of the end point, and it's moving only on one plane. So I can attach a string to this board, put a small weight here, and then move it on the plane and let it go. So it will go and it will touch this. So if you don't take the friction into account, it will never stop, right?
So that's the bottommost point, right? Let's say put A here.
Here.
Right, yes. Take A of that.
A.
Yes. When you displace from A, let's say you displace 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter. As when you displace, the force on the object increases. So you displace more, the force in the opposite direction increases. So that's why there is some point where the force is so much it cannot further.
Right.
That's why it turns around and comes back. When it comes back, the displacement from this point A is smaller. When it is smaller, the force on the object is less and less, and at the bottom point is the fastest point, but the force is 0. So point A, force is 0. The speed is the fastest. And point B at the end, one H.
Oh, here, B.
So the force is high.
Equation ගත්තොත් force equals minus x is distance multiplied by something.
Oh yeah. So you can actually look at a spring, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So another example would be if I attach some weight here. This is a plane, and there is a spring.
Yes.
And when you're studying this, you think of it as an ideal spring. You can pull it, and there will be a force trying to bring it back. So if there's no friction, that will also create this same simple harmonic motion. And you can relate this to a sine wave. I forget how to derive that, right? But there's a...
I would like to say, how can we relate it to the Anapanasati?
Oh, I see.
That is what I bought this board. So now you remember the pendulum as going up and down, and if you mark the speed.
Yes. Yeah, this is.
And usually be bell-shaped curve.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So Isaac Newton He saw this pendulum when he was in the church.
Okay.
And he found when it's moving little or long, exactly the same time.
Yes,
That's another direction. That this may be displaced this much or that much or very little. The wavelength exactly the same.
So there's a formula for the time, the period, right?
Yeah. So that is how pendulum became a
timekeeper, right?
Now,
right.
when it is moving this point, fastest. But if it is going to stop, this is the point, it is stopping.
No.
No, because it still has a velocity that way, right?
We'll say there's a little friction.
Okay.
Little friction.
Yes.
So when it is moving, no one will think this is the equilibrium.
Yes, there's no reason to.
So that is the point in Anapanasati. You can understand this point, no harm. It's a fastest moving. If you appear like this is the stopping point like. So you see the end of the Anapana, beginning of the Anapana, very distinct. But Buddha says, no, you have to come to the middle point. Majjhima Patipada. Don't get attached to that also. So therefore, when you see a pendulum, you never predict this is their equilibrium, this is their equanimous point. It's fast moving. Whether it is moving further away or little bit, exactly the same time.
It's if you say there's no friction, I think
that is the way of watch. We have a pendulum is covered with the glass and kind of thing.
Yeah, it's. I think the time depends on the length and mass. That's all.
Yeah. So therefore, speed, right? Catching that kind of a point in the church, Isaac Newton.
He was genius, right?
So exactly the point the Buddha is telling. You never think whenever the Anapana ceases to exist. Gradually, Digang Vasa Santo, Digang Vasa Samiti Pajanati, Rasang Vasa Santo, and then when it's going to stop, you never can comprehend. Thoughts will come, sounds will come, pain will come, and you complain, I feel boring, I can't understand. But that is the key point to the Nibbana. So therefore, before mind become wandering, the reduction of the friction in Anapana, that the progress in meditation, indicating now you are about to wander.
So in that case, what you are saying, the friction is the sati that reduces the right?
So therefore, you say, as she mentioned, mind is wandering. But it is not an accident. If you see the behavior of the breath, when it is slowing down, you have to predict, now mind is about to jump out. Because you are successful. Your success is the failure for the samatha. Your success is the success. Failure is the success in vipassana. Then you have to create a series of thoughts. At the beginning, the thought is very tiny particle, and then storytelling happens, or the fabrication happens. At the peak, you never think it will cease us. You get action and you get fighted and you go forward. All the kinds of things.
You can't apply to thought because you need some phenomenon that is repeating.
I think you can apply to thought because I think in the thoughts that
thoughts also the same, pain also the same, sounds also the same. Yeah, that thought. Instead of the breath, you can take the thought. You can take the sound. You can take pain. Because all these are in the bell-shaped curve. These are sankhara. Upado panyayatu, vayo panyayati, titasa anyatattam panyayati. And Attvacharya they says, titi, not titi. Titasa anyatattam. Here is the fastest.
The moment it's also changing.
And that is the point they lost. Buddha says, Upado panyayati, vayo panyayati, titasa. This is the most transient point. And that is the point Isaac Newton catch it. and use the pendulum for the time marking that we have in the researchers, we have the hairspring. It's something like this happening. So when we are comparing, you see, Isaac Newton never thought of Nibbana in this such a genius understanding. But the Buddha's thing is, it is leading to that kind of a thing. Human mind cannot comprehend it.
That term, Titassa Anyathattam Pannati, I always felt it was a contradiction.
Iti Anyathattam. So that is what it says, your orderly manner disappears. This chaotic situation happens. Language loses. And you yourself get discouraged. So Atuacharya Vanse found a short method completely wrong. So we discuss only few aspects. These phenomena you can make use to explain a lot. And the genius people looking this from different perspectives. We can only see few dimensions. So likewise, the Nibbana is not far away from the friction, from suffering.
Friction is
suffering is the Nibbana.
That was suffering.
Yeah. So that if you can really understand, that is Nibbana. Otherwise you complain to get rid of suffering. No, you have to be lovely, you have to be happy with suffering. And then suffering becomes lost, loses the ground. Dukata sinaseo sihaluni, dukata sinaseo. Vatunat negative, negative, negative. So this is never teaching in the schools. They want to have the technology, infrastructure, all the kind of stuff to get rid of suffering. So ultimately they become idiots. They do not know what to do when the suffering happens. So death is a fearful. But the death is the very closest point to the Nibbana. If you are prepared. That's called Samasisi Nibbana. Death pain as well as the Nibbana, 3 monks in our sasana indicated. Otherwise, it appears like a completely black, completely negative, completely destructive life. No. It's a very close point. And that is the way it must be, introduce the Buddhism or the teaching of the Buddha, not in this the American system. No. They try to find remedies, pharmaceutical intervention, and the facilities, this and that. No, how much you can adopt? That I call tapas. Tapas means asceticism. So it is not accepted in the American system. But anyway, Richard Davidson and others, they are making theories out of that. They are teaching because they are practicing 40 years now. Daily practicing.
They are meditators? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
He has written a number of books of Buddha's brain and bright understanding. So I appreciate being an American and born in America. He found the truth is in India and in Sri Lanka. So it's a good ambassador because they can explain these things in a very productive and creative way. Otherwise, they are just simple harmonic. How do you call it?
Simple harmonic motion.
Simple
harmonic motion.
Other one is simple. You said 2. The circle.
Periodic. Periodic is
the anukalanaya, kalanaya, anamana. That I do. That I do.
So in sound travels simple. If you take one air particle, sound travels. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not going anywhere. Just moving. Yeah.
Yes.
But we feel like sound goes, therefore particle also goes. Like.
No,
that's right.
But if you throw a piece of frigiform to the wave, frigiform is going up and down. It is not taken away by the wave. So much our eyes are camouflage. So to understand, you must not decide at the beginning of the pain or middle of the pain. Just choicelessly be aware, let the pain disappear. But we can't wait. Before that, we transfer into the another pain or sound. So then or the picture is not complete, halfway. So that is that Arua Vinay, a panic Galankara.
Chandan.
Oh, these things are sometimes easy for the school-going children to understand.
Yes, I think this is taught in grade 9 or 10, right? I mean, it must be even earlier.
Advanced level of the game, physics. Maths වලට මම එච්චර ගියේ නැහැ, physics කරේ. Physics වල ඔක
You might be right. Maybe grade 11, I'm not sure now. Either 10 or 11.
Simple harmonic, simple periodic.
Just period.
Periodic කියලා කියන්නේ
ආවර්තිත. Periodic time වචනේ ආවර්තිත සිංහල වචනේ.
ඒ තවත් simple කෙරුවොත් ආවර්තිත වගු කියන්නේ මේ
table repetition කියන එක.
වර්තිත. මේකට වර්තිත හරි. හරි මට කොල කැලලා දෙන්න මේ වචන එක මට මතක නැහැ. අන්තික මම පිස්සු මේව උන්නේ බා.
Oh, a special version of periodic. ඒකට සාරෙන්ද?
They take the age of the people.
සාරෙන්ද?
අනුවාර්තිය
සාරෙන්ද? සාරෙන්ද? Yeah.
මේ අම්මත් ගණන්කාරීද?
අම්මා තාත්තා
මට විතරයි.
ඊයේ වැටුණා. මම ආවොත් මොකද කියලා. එතකොට කිව්වේ නෑ අසවලා කියලා. ඔව් ඉතින් මම ඉතින් හොඳ ගානේ පෞල් දික්ක දාගෙන කාටද තමයි. හරි එන ඉවර කරමු. Simple harmonic and periodic. Periodic motion.
simple harmonic.
ඒකේ විශේෂ අවස්ථාව simple harmonic.
If you take the biggest Kulake is periodic motion. Take a special simple harmonic.
Periodic motion ඔබ වහන්සේ නේද කිව්වේ සරල අනුවර්තය කියලා. ඒක හරි.
අනුවර්තීය චලන ඒක පීරියොඩික් කියන්නේ චක්‍රීය චලන. චක්‍රීය.
Oh, that's fine.
Enough. සර්ව් එකක් බගුවල ඉගෙන ගත්තා මොන්නේ චාටින්වත් හොයන හම්බෙන්නේ.
වචන
පොත්තේ වල ඕ අන්තිමේ මේකේ දෘෂ්ටි පැවැත්මට දෙන්නේ. ආරම්භ විෂය.
සරල අනුවාර්තී චරිත.
ඒනගේ දෘෂ්ටි පැවැත්ම කියන්නේ ආරම්භ Flashback කරන්නේ බැලුවම ඇහි ඉතුරුනේ ෆ්ලෑෂ්. මේ මොකක්ද ඉංග්‍රීසි?
latent image. Latent.
නෑ ඒක කියනවා persistence. Persistence කියන්නේ
persistent.
කියන්නේ ඒකට කියන්නේ අපි කියන්නේ දෘෂ්ටියේ පැවැත්ම.
persistent.
persistence කියන්නේ පවතිනයි.
ඔව්. එතකොට persistent of
අරකට ඒ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකේ ගැන කතා කරන කන්ටෙක්ස්ට් එකේදී persistence කියන්නේ ඒක. IT වල persistent කියලා කියන්නේ එතකොට මොකක්ද display එකේ එක persistent
බට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ මේවා නිකන් බලාගෙන ඉන්න එපා. වැඩි කියන්නේ වැඩ. පොඩි උන්ට මේ ඇවිල්ලා මෙයා මේ මයික් කල්ලගෙන
I don't even understand what you're saying now.
You never. වැඩක් නැහැ නිකන් මානසිකව වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒ අපි වැඩි හිටියන්ගේ වැඩ පොඩි උන් කරපන් හිටපන්. දෘෂ්ටියේ පැවැත්ම. හරියට තියෙනවා. Epical mainstem. Epical dominancy. මේ සිංහල එක ගන්නවා. Epical dominancy කියලා ගහලා බලන්න. ඒක උඩම තියෙන ගහේ උඩම තියෙන අංකුරේ පල්ලෙහාට තියෙන අංකුර ඔක්කොම ඩෝමන්ට් කරනවා. ඉතින් ස්වභාවයක් කරපයි කැඩුවොත් අනිත් ඒවා එනවා.
Even මොකද කියන්නේ?
Epical dominancy.
Epical.
ඔය ලොක්ක හැම වෙලාවෙම පොඩි උන් තරනවා. ඌ මරුවොත්
ඒගොල්ලන් හදන්නේ සයිකල්.
එහෙම ගන්න නැද්ද සිංහල වචන නැද්ද? ඒ ඩයිකොටිලිසන් ප්ලාන්ට්ස් වල ඒක මෙහෙම පාත් කරුවොත් මේ පැත්තෙන් තමයි.
අග්‍රස්ත ප්‍රමුඛතාව.
Grasha නියමයි.
ethical dominance.
අග්‍රස්ත ප්‍රමුඛතාව.
ඒක politically worse thing. It always happening. You don't like anyone coming up. Agrasta. That මොනවාද? අනිත් එක ඒක වැඩක් නෑ කතා කරන්නේ. ඒක කියන්නේ මේ return to scale or scale of economics. Economics of scale.
Economies of scale.
Economics of scale.
Economies of scale.
Economies.
Economies of scale. ඒක සිංහලෙන් මොනවද?
ඈ?
ඔය ඇලි.
ශිවගෙන වැරදි.
මම මේක 4-5 දිනක් ගෙත්තේවා තාම මට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා.
ශක්‍යතාවද?
ඒක.
Scale.
Economics of scale. Scale effect කියලා කියනවා. Scale.
Scaling තමයි.
ඈ?
Scaling තමයි.
Scaling තමයි.
ආර්ථිකයේ
නෑ ඒක ආර්ථික නෙවෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ
ඊට පුළුවන් සින්නෝ.
Economics of scale කියන්නේ දැන් නිකන් මේ මම මොනවාරි දෙයක් හදනවා. ඒකේ අපිට 5 units හදන්න දෙන්න. මම කොහොමද ස්කේල් කරන්නේ 5 to 10. කොහොම කර තමයි මගේ අර ෆික්ස් ඕහෙඩ් එක මට නැති කරගෙන මේක ස්කේල් අප් කරන්න පුළුවන්කම. සමහරකට අපි කියමුකෝ මම ඕක කරන්නේ ගෙදර බේස්මන්ට් එකේ ඕක හදන්න. ඒක වෙලාවක පස්සේ මට බෑ ඒක කරගන්න. ලිමිට් එකට පස්සේ දැන් ඊට පස්සේ බිගර් තැනකට එනවා. තව තැනකට එනවා. එහෙම මෙහෙම කළා මොකක් කරේ warehouse එක රෙන්ට් කරලා කරනවා. ඉකොනොමික්ස් එක ග්‍රෝ එක. තමයි මොනවාරි මේ හදන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාට ඒකේ නේචර් එකේ හැටියට ඉකොනොමික්ස් ඔෆ් ස්කේල් බෑ.
අපිට කටමැතන විදිහට මෙව රාශියක් ගත්තොත් marginal cost and the marginal revenue. මෙහෙම ගිහිල්ලා ගේන් කරලා අන්තිමට වැටෙනවා පල්ලෙහාට. මෙතෙන් යහට ස්කේල් එක ලිමිට් කරනවා. යා මේක දන්නේ නැත්නම් තව හොයන්න හදනවා. ඒක යාගේ කැපිටල් ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකම ලිමිටේෂන් එකක්. මේක විපස්සනා වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මට මේක බලන්න
increased output results in lower average cost.
Marginal cost is too much and marginal revenue is less. So this is the turning point.
At the end.
Economics of scale.
එතකොට කරන්නේ තියෙන්නේ කම්පැනි ඩිසෝල්ව් කරලා අලුත් ස්කේල් එකට යනවා.
ඔව්
ඒක තමයි CEO කරන්නේ.
ඒක තමයි මම කිව්ව මගේ එක්සැම්පල් එකේ මගේ බේස්මන්ට් එකේ මම කරගෙන යනවා. I hit a limit. So then I need to expand it to some other place.
Otherwise, you will become a fool. Because your space is limited.
Right.
So we start as a Putujjana, and in Vipassana, you can become Buddha. How it happens? It is you have the same basic investment, but in Vipassana, it is no friction, no kind of thing happen. So that is a very sharp part of our brain. Otherwise, your achievement become a problem for you. In Samatha, it can happen.
Samatha, it can
happen. You is proud and you are kind of thing. But in Vipassana, you are always concerned about the Vipassana Upakkhesa. Teachers are whacking you like anything. They are fine that I am a good person, but still the teacher is whacking. So at the time, I had the feeling that I should have a strong teacher for me to, someone to whack. When Jnanarama is very soft. When I go to Panditarama, I got the burden. He knows I try my best, but never give any good remarks. And ultimately, you have to understand that's the way, or that's the only way. If he's going to praise me, I'll be boosting my ego. ඒකේ ඉන්නේ බුදුරජාණන්සේ කරලා තියෙන වැඩේ ඔය ඉකොනොමික්ස් ඔෆ් ස්කේල් කියන එක අපිට කියලා දෙනකොට අපි එක අවුරුද්ද ඉකොනොමික්ස් කරන්නේ. සයන්ස් සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ප්‍රොෆෙසර් කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා ගෙන්නුවා. අච්චමට හරියට ඕන වුණා ඒක කරගන්න මේ අපේ ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් එකට අපේ භාවනාවේ උපදින ශ්‍රද්ධාව, විරිය, සති, සමාධි, ප්‍රඥා වලින් ශ්‍රද්ධාව අනික් සියල්ලම ඉකොනොමික්ස් ඔෆ් ස්කේල් වලට. ශ්‍රද්ධාව වැඩි වුණොත් ප්‍රඥාව වැඩි වෙනවා. විරිය වැඩි වුණොත් සතිය මේ සමාධිය වැඩි වෙනවා. සතිය කවදාකවත් එහෙම අහුවෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක ලස්සනට ලියලා තියෙනවා ඥානපෝනික ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ. ඒක විතරයි බුද්ධ ආගමේ ලොස් කෙරුවේ. ශ්‍රද්ධාවට හරි දැනක් තියෙනවා, ප්‍රඥාවට හරි දැනක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඔක්කොම cannibalism fighting each other. Satya infinitum. They are all rotating. But when it is something like that, everyone has to go according to the sati. So very difficult. People never appreciate that. They will never give the due respect of the sati. Saddhava, Prajnava, Virya, Samadhi, very colorful people. You immediate impact. Sati is not so. It is not showing. Not showing colors. Okay, enough.
Please join me in thanking Maha Thero.